to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we have another debut on the channel today, this time for The Pedaling Pianist, with a puzzle called Di-agony, and apparently this is very, very hard, which I can well believe for two reasons. Firstly, there don't seem to be many clues in the grid. Secondly, I've read the rules, and this is disjoint subsets today, which is my total nemesis. So this is the rule that says, you know, whatever that digit is, let's make it a 2, you now can't put a 2 in any of these positions, because if you did, the 2 would be repeating in its position within its 3x3 box. And this I find impossible, because it's very difficult for me to see there's a relationship between those two cells, for example. It's a level of scanning to which I am not accustomed. But anyway, that is the rules in today's puzzle. There are some other rules too, and I'll read them to you in a moment. The Pedaling Pianist, it's a lot of alliteration, it feels like. It feels like that, what was it, when I was actually working in the city, people used to use? It was something like, oh, I don't actually know if I can say it. It's got a rude word in the middle of it. I'll miss out the rude word, see if you can work out what it was. It's something like proper preparation prevents beep poor performance, which is very good advice, actually. Yes, and also Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. The Pedaling Pianist, for some reason, that reminds me of that. But anyway, it is their debut today, and I look forward to trying their puzzle. And I don't have much news for you. Let me think about the news. We've got just some birthdays. So David, a very happy birthday from your girlfriend Samantha. Karen, a very happy birthday from your husband Brendan. Apparently Karen and Brendan are self-confessed screen shouters. They enjoy shouting at the screen while watching our videos, and there's nothing wrong with that. And also Manuela from your friend Fabrizio. Now Manuela has turned an age today that is a secret, and it doesn't seem appropriate to reveal the secret of Manuela's age, but that is indeed, I think some of you may know it already, but I wish Manuela, Karen and David many happy returns, and I hope their days are filled with chocolate cake. Next, over on Patreon, we are nearly at the end of November, which means I will show you in a moment what that means for what's coming up in December, but I also need to congratulate the remaining solvers who solved all 12 puzzles from the 12 Labours of Hercules Sudoku hunt, which was November's monthly reward. So very well done to Miri Mailer, Daniel Sader, Palav Goyal, Alex Plunkett, Robbie the Belgian, Vinola and Matthias Schmidt, Micah Turway, Jana Enderman, Mary Foster, Belinda Lomini, Jonathan Baker, Osher Lerner, Andrew Houchin, Michael Motzfeldt, Georgie Matev, and Carl Faust. Now, I think, Carl, I've already read your name out, but I might be wrong about that. But anyway, very well done to all of you. You sent in the correct answer. I better not reveal that correct answer in case it's still a spoiler. But yes, on the 1st of December, we are going to be releasing the Cryptic Scriptures of the Secret Snake Society. We've got more alliteration. Lots of s is, which seems appropriate given it's a snake-themed Sudoku hunt. Some fantastic puzzle historians involved. You can see the list down here. Dad Jokes, Jay Dyer, Mr. Menace, Piotr V, Round Planer, Rock Rat Zero and Zegres. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. There are a lot of puzzles in this hunt. I think 18 or 19 was my count, and some of the puzzles are just beautiful. So if you are a patron of the channel, dust off your pencils, because soon it's going to be time for a new hunt. And of course, if you manage to complete the hunt and you solve all the puzzles, then you get a shout out on the channel. So if that is something you aspire to, yeah, get your thinking caps on. You'll certainly need them. Other than that, oh yeah, Mark asked me to mention that if you are interested in cracking the cryptic merchandise for Christmas, please look soon, because the delivery times, it can take up to 3 weeks. So if you do want to get something for Christmas time, we've got hoodies, we've got mugs, we've got all sorts of lovely stuff. Yeah, you probably need to order soon. There'll be links under the video, and sometimes I think when you when you look at our channel, or when you look at the videos, the merch pops up underneath. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But for any of you who are interested, make sure you think about doing that soon. Now, all that said and done, let's have a look at Di-agony and see what the Pedaling Pianist has got in store for us. These are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells that share the same position in the 3x3 boxes may not contain the same digit. E.g., if there is a 1 in the top left cell of box 1, there may not be a 1 in any other top left cell in another 3x3 box. So this is just what we were saying, and it's what makes it very hard to scan. So all of those yellow cells there would have to contain the digits 1 to 9 once each, is effectively what this is saying. So similarly, all of the central digits in their 3x3 boxes, they all have to be different, etc. So it's a fascinating rule, and it leads to weird sort of geometric considerations, but it is very hard to scan. Now, knight's move as well. So cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. So this is going to be properly weird. Let's imagine this digit was a 5. Now, none of these cells here, boom, none of those purple cells could be a 5, because then you'd have a knight's move away from another 5, and that's illegal in this puzzle. So don't do that. Digits cannot repeat along the negative diagonal marked in blue, right? So we've got another restriction on the digits 1 to 9 in this diagonal. So this needs to be the digits 1 to 9 once each. And digits along an arrow must sum to the digit in that arrow circle. So that's normal arrow rules. So those 3 digits there, let's imagine these were 1, 2, and 3. I'm not that's probably, no. I was about to say that these 1s see each other, but they don't. They are not in the same position in their boxes. But 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. So you put 6 in the circle. And that would be a correct way of adding 3 numbers together, basically. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. I will adjust my glasses and let's get cracking. Now, what on earth is going on? I mean, I can see I have the ability to write 6, 7, 8, and 9 into these 2 circles, because we've got 3 cell arrows emanating from these 2 circles, and the minimum we could put on the arrows would be a 1, 2, 3 triple, as we just did down here. So these circles have got to be at least 6. Now these do not see each other, in the sense that that is in the sort of 9th position in its box, isn't it? Whereas this is in the 1st position. So I don't think disjoint sets tell us anything. This arrow here can't have a 1 on it, obviously. So well, we know it adds up to 6. Oh no, that's just nonsense. That arrow can't have a 1 on it, actually, because of the knight's move constraint. So that's at least a 2 plus a 3. So this is at least 5. That's probably worth recording. So if it was 5, it would have to be a 2 here and a 3 here. Oh, that's nearly impossible. That is very nearly impossible, because if you do that, look at this arrow again now. Now it can't have 2 on it, and this little 3 sees both of those cells because of the magic of the knight's move. So this would have to be a 4-5 pair adding to 9. That's probably possible, actually. I don't see what's wrong with that. That was almost quite cool, though, wasn't it? Right. What is it going to... What on earth is it going to be? Can we use the disjoint somehow? I have no clue. We haven't got enough digits in the grid, I think, to be useful here. Or it's going to be something. It's going to be something weird, because all of these diagonals go in the same direction, like something about these 3 digits, which is a horrible thought. Because I mean, how do you view these digits as, in some meta way, in some global way that's going to actually tell us anything about the puzzle. Actually, that I'm going to think about that a bit harder, because I've just noticed something which is potentially interesting. Although I think this box is going to be the problem for my idea. Let me just show you what my idea was. So my idea was to just do what the puzzle's showing us, basically, and highlight these diagonals. But obviously I've got to include this one. So what I've done here is I've highlighted positions 1, 5 and 9 in every 3x3 box. So if I just highlight all of those cells for a moment, we know that because the sort of first positions, those positions I've just highlighted there, so those ones, we know that that is the digits 1 to 9 once each, because they are the first position digits. So, and similarly the middle digits are the digits 1 to 9, and similarly the ninth digits are the digits 1 to 9. So this is 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Now, the reason that caught my attention is I suddenly realised that this diagonal actually is 1 set of the digits 1 to 9. So that tells us that these red cells that I've got left here, I don't know actually if red is the right colour, let's make them yellow. Just, it's not, well, I just want to be able to see the circles very clearly. So these circles are 2 lots of the digits 1 to 9. Which feels important, doesn't it? For example, I'm thinking now about the digit 9. So I've got to include 2 9s in these cells. I can only make one of those a 9. The reason, 9 is I'm thinking 9's relevant is I can never put 9 on an arrow, because if I put 9 on an arrow, the circle's going to be 10. So in terms of the cells in this little collection of yellowness that I can put 9s on, I've got to, right, there's got to be, okay, this is actually, this is quite beautiful in a weird way. So if I'm just going to give a red flash now to digits that cannot be 9 because they're on arrows, I've got to put 2 9s in these remaining digits, and I could only put 1 9 in here because they're in the same column. So there must be a 9 or more in one of these cells. But these cells are weird. They're sort of like a claw or something, but each one of these sees, like this digit sees all 3 of those. This digit sees the other 3. So you can actually only put 1 9 in this bird's claw here. So let's bluefy the bird's claw. That can only have 1 9 in it. So I've actually worked out from this that there is a 9 in one of those 2 cells, which is very peculiar indeed. And right, oh, this is going to be it, isn't it, somehow? I don't quite understand how, but look, I've now got a 9 in the first position in either this box or this box. So you can never have a 9 now in any of those cells. Right, well, okay, so the 9 that must exist in blue in the bird's talon is now not in this claw of it, it's in one of those. So, this is very strange. So there is a 9 in one of these 2 and a 9 in one of those 3. Right. Okay. What does that mean? I'm actually quite pleased that I've even found anything in this, because this is it's already interesting, isn't it? And it sort of feels like this is a sensible thing to be thinking about in the context of the puzzle. I've got to put 2 of every digit into these yellow cells, because we know that it's 2 lots of the digits 1 to 9. Because when we included the diagonal, it was 3 lots of the digits 1 to 9. So lopping off the diagonal, which contains 1 lot of the digits 1 to 9, means I'm left with 2 lots of the digits 1 to 9. So I've got to have 2 of everything. So what's the hard digit? 1, maybe. This 1, because it rules itself out of those 2 cells, and obviously these 3 cells, and you can't put 1s in circles. No, that's not even interesting, is it? There's loads of places 1s can go. Oh dear. Right, so maybe having congratulated myself on coming up with a sensible thought, I'm now going to have to abandon my thought, because I don't think this is going to get me far enough. This is probably something you do later in the solve, once you've got a few digits, so that you can use the fact there must be 2 of each digit to help you. And well, the only other thought is unless it's maths, because could it be maths? What I'm thinking there is the yellow cells are 2 of each digit. Now there is a secret in Sudoku, and a secret is something I only tell my very favourite people, but if you're still with me after 16 minutes of this video, you're definitely in that category. So I'll tell you the secret, but don't tell anybody else. The secret is that a complete box of a Sudoku, a complete column of a Sudoku, and a complete row of the Sudoku, because of the rules of Sudoku, contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. And if you sum the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. Now, the nature of a complete box of a Sudoku is it's one set of the digits 1 to 9. Well, my yellow digits are 2 sets of the digits 1 to 9. So my yellow digits add up to 90 overall. So I'm just wondering if I've got to maximise this, for example. If that's a 9, then those yellow cells would sum up to 27, because 9 here, that arrow must add up to 9, those cells must add up to 9. So that would be 27. We could put a 9 here and an 8 here. That would maximise the size of these yellow digits, ignoring these 3 at the bottom. So we'd have 2 lots of 27, which is 54. And then if this was an 8, you'd have 2 lots of 8, which gives us 70. So these would have to add up to 20 without using... Well, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, this is going to be relevant. This is really brilliant, actually, because... Right, so what I just investigated is... I think this is really constrained. I'm almost worried I've just done the sums wrong. I'm going to have to check that in a moment, but let me try and explain what I'm doing. I put 9 in here, and I put 9 in here, and I put 8 in here. So this is what we did. And we discovered that if we did that, in order to ensure that the yellow cells overall summed up to 90, these cells would have to add up to 20 because of the mathematics of the arrows. But these can't actually add up to 20 because of this 9 here. Oh, no. Okay, I was just thinking this can't be a 9 because it would deprive these 9s of being pencil marks. But actually, I think there was a 9 in that cell. Yes, I was saying there was a 9 in one of those 3, so it's fine. If that's a 9, I don't need a 9 down here as well. But anyway, these can't add up to 20 anymore, because if that's a 9, The only way of making 20 without using a 9 in 3 cells with different digits is 5, 7, 8, and that 5 looks a bit suspicious in that regard. So this doesn't work. But the interesting thing is, it doesn't work, but I've maxed out the value of these circles. If I switch these around, I'm going to get to a smaller number because I'm tripling the 8 and only doubling the 9. So these 3 cells have to add up to at least 20, and they can never have whatever that digit is in them. So if we make that 8, then I've got 24 here. So let's leave this as 9 now. So that would give us 24 plus 27. That's 51. Plus 16 is 67. Well, that just doesn't. Wow, this is actually really cool. That just doesn't work at all, because now these squares have to add up to 23 without using 8, and they'd go well. And critically, yeah, this is beautiful. I've got a digit now. This is a 9 in the finished grid, because if we make this an 8, we've just deduced that these 3 cells here add up to at least 23. So they must have an 8 in them, because if we make them 9, 7, 6, that only adds up to 22. Now, and we cannot put an 8 in any of them because of the knight's move. So this cannot be an 8 and must be a 9. But now we've got to figure out how this works over here, because this did not work when I tripled the 9. So maybe we've got to reverse the order there. So if we go 8 here, 9 here. Well, let's do the maths on that. So aren't we going to get the same thing as we had before? From these 2 arrows, we're going to effectively have 17 tripled, aren't we, which is 51. So we're going to have 51 plus 18, which is 69. So these will add up to 21. Now that we can do that with 876. So that might have to be the answer. Let me think about this. We know this is 9. I know, therefore, the maximum value of these is 21, because I know that this is 9. So I suppose we could view it, let's try and view it just isolating this bottom area of the grid. So the absolute maximum I can make the bottom area of the grid is 27 plus 21, which is 48. So the absolute minimum I'm allowed to make these cells up here is 42. It's 42. So I'm just trying to convince myself that there's no way of doing this. Well, there is no way of doing it. There's no way of doing it involving something like a 7. Yeah, 20. Yeah, if I triple the 9 and put the 9 in here, I get 27. But I need 42, which is 15 more. So if I put a 7 in here rather than an 8, I don't get that. I only get 14. So it's been deliberately designed this way. But this is the only way you can make this work. You have to have 8 and 9 here, and they have to be in this specific order, because if they go in the other order, you get 8, 7, 5 there, and that given 5 is there for a reason. That is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? That is so clever. Right, so these are not 9 now. This is now... Well, I know these digits. We know that those digits are 6, 7 and 8. Ah, not 9, 6, 7 and 8, because we need these to add up to 21. And that one is an 8, so that one is not an 8 by the medium of madness that is the disjoint subsets. Oh, no, I was about to say, where does 9 go in this box? But that's not a good question. I think it's still got 3 possible places, even with the knight's move restriction. Come on. We've got a chance to solve this now, I think, because at least we've now got some digits. We can now... Well, the next question I'm going to ask is, where does 8 go in yellow? In fact, I can get rid of my red flashes, I think, now. Let's get rid of my red flashes and possibly my blue flashes, because I now know effectively that the bird's talon down here is a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. Now, yellow overall is 2 lots of the digits 1 to 9. And I've only got one. Oh no, I've got 2 8s. Oh, what am I talking about then? Sorry. I was thinking that a good question to ask would be where my second 8 goes, but I've already got 2 8s. I've got an 8 in one of those, and I've got an 8 there. I've got 2 9s, so I need 2 7s. I've only got 1 7 so far. All right, this is good. Okay, so I need a second 7. Where are we going to put that? You can't put 7 on a 3-cell arrow, because once you've added a 1 and a 2 to it, you'll get to a double-digit number, and that's not possible in Sudoku. Now, I don't think I can put 7 on this arrow, because it'll have to have a 1 with it, and there's a 1 here. So I've got to put 7 on a 9 arrow. Now, I don't know which 9 arrow, but that means there's going to be a 2 7 arrow adding up to 9 in one of these boxes. Now, if it was this one, that would be a 2. That would mean there was a 2 in one of those cells. Okay, I don't know. So one of these arrows is a 2 7 arrow, but I have no idea how to pencil mark that. I mean, I could obviously do it like this or something, but that would be very confusing. So, right, we're going to try and remember that. One of those is 2 7. So then presumably the next digit we should think about is 6. Where we've got 1 6 so far. 6 now. 6 is worse. 6 is worse because I can put 6 on the 3-cell 9 arrow. I couldn't put it on a 3-cell 8 arrow because 8 in 3 cells is only 1 2 5 or 1 3 4. So one of these is 2 7. All right, let's try. All right, I'm going to try 1 instead. And the reason I'm going to try 1 is that I can't put 1. Well, I can't put 1 on here because of knight's move trickery. But I also can't put 1 on here. Because if I do put 1 on here, I've got to put 8 in one of those cells, and that's going to give me 3 8s in yellow. And that's not allowed by the rules. So, this is it. This is it. So now, well, actually, I could have told you already that there was a 1 on that 8 arrow, because an 8 arrow always has a 1 in 3 cells. But I couldn't have told you what I can now tell you, which is there is a 1 on the 9 arrow. And there is a 1 on the 9 arrow because the 2 1s we need to put in yellow can't go on that arrow, can't go on that arrow, and can't go on that arrow. So this is either 1 3 5 or 1 2 6. So now I'm wondering, wow. Right. I can tell you something. I'm about to sneeze. I think I'm coming down with something at the moment. Someone wrote that in a comment yesterday. They said my voice was croakier than usual. I'm sorry about that, but my brain is at least throwing out some ideas because I can't put 4 on this arrow now because it would be 1 double 4, and I could never have put 4 on that arrow because it would have been double 4. But I've got to put 2 4s in yellow, and the only arrows I've got left to put 4s on are those arrows. But we know that one of the 9s is a 2, 7 arrow, so I can't put 4 on both 9 arrows, so one 9 arrow only is allowed to have a 4 on it, and it must be a 4, 5. So now I actually know what these squares are. They're 2, 7 and 4, 5 in some order. I don't know which way round. Well, I know that's not 2 and that's not 7. And I know. Actually, I know that's not 5 and that's not 4. But more importantly, I suspect, I know there must be the second 4. The only place the second 4 can go is on this 8 arrow. So that 8 arrow is 1, 3, 4 now. So okay, so if we take an audit of what digit we've used both 1s. No, I've only used 1, 2. Is that really right? I've got a 2 on one of the 9 arrows. So okay, so one of these arrows has to have a 2 on it. So if it's on the 8 arrow, the 8 arrow would be 2 here, 6 here. Oh, I see. I see how this is working. Right, I don't see how to do anything with it. But if the 6 is not on this arrow, it's on this arrow, where the 2 that I was going to accompany it with over here shifts to this arrow. So, right, so we're missing a 3, a 5, a 2, and a 6. And they are interspersed into those digits. So I'm going to label those up. 1, 2, 6. 3, 5, but I know that these are not 1. So this is either 2, 6 or 3, 5. This is either 1, 3, 5 or 1, 2, 6. So that's never 2. Or 5. This is 1, 3 or 6. Let's check the disjoints. Now, what is it that we're meant to be noticing here? Or is it this arrow? Now, I've not looked at this arrow at all. This is not able to be 8. Sorry, not able to be 9. So the highest it can be is 8. Oh, okay. There's no 2 on this arrow. And if there's a 1 on this arrow, it has to go there. I bet that's impossible now. Right, let's try and prove this can't be a 1. Because I've got to put 1s in both of these without having the same digit in the same disjoint set. Yeah, so if this is a 1 in the middle, that's a 1. And that's a 1 by sudoku and sort of knight's move trickery. Now, is anything in the same disjoint set as the ones that... So we'd have these 4 1s in the grid. There'd be a 1 in one of those 2 cells. A 1 in one of these 2 cells. No, okay, sorry, I can't quite disprove that. But if that's not a 1, given that you couldn't then put 1 or 2 on it, this would have to be, well, then it would have to have a 3 on it, because it can't be a 4-5 pair adding to 9, because that's going to have a 9, it's going to hit the 9 here. So can there be a 3 on this arrow? Not there. Whoa, this is probably it. Right, if that's a 3, you're breaking this 1, 3, 4 arrow. So that would have to be a 3, that would have to be a 3. That couldn't be a 4, because because once this is a 3, there's a 3 here, and if you put 4 there, you can't have a 4 on this 1, 3, 4 triple. So good grief! So either this is a 1, or this is specifically a 3-5 pair with the 5 here, which is knocking 5 out of those squares. So this would be 2, 7. That would be a 6. and this would be an 8. Wow. And although I want to say that's impossible, I can't quite disprove it. What about... Okay, so, well, this is certainly under pressure. I think that's as far as I can go with that, without going on a massive long bifurcation. What about sudoku? Let's try some sudoku. I can see 9 is a bit restricted in that box. Is that in any way helpful? No. No is the short answer. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I've suddenly hit an absolute brick wall. Oh dear, oh dear. It was all going so well, and now I've just got completely poleaxed by the pedaling pianist. What is it going to be then? Is it this diagonal? Let's have a think about the diagonal. Is there some digit that you just can't put on it now? You see, and this is horrible, because you've got to try and keep track of what's a problem in terms of the disjoint. See, 9 is really difficult to place on this diagonal, actually. Where does it go? It can go there. It can't go in any of those cells, because this 9 it just rules the roost over that diagonal. So 9's not here. Can it go here? If it goes there, that's got to be a 9. Oh no! Oh, that's rotten. That really is rotten. Right, so it's in one of 2 places on this diagonal, I think. 9 is in one of those 2 cells. Let me just stare at this again. If this is 9, that's 9. Can we somehow rule something out here? I'm not sure I can. One of those is 9. If that's 9, one of these is 9. That would be 9, because this would be a knight's move away from this, actually. So let's just check that. If that's 9, we've got a 9 down here. 9 in the middle box is very restricted now, because this 9 rules out so much of it. Can't put a second 9 on the diagonal, so okay, so that would be a 9. That would be a 9. Wow, okay, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. It's quite tricky to see this, but it is visualizable. If this is 9, the problem here is we have to put 9 here. Now we've got to put 9 in this box, and this 9 takes care of those, this 9 takes care of all those because of the knight's move, and that little 9 takes care of that one. So you have to put 9 here, therefore you've got to put 9 there. But look what happens at the bottom. You get a 9 in one of those 2 cells by sudoku, and a 9 in one of those 2 cells by sudoku. And that means the 9 in row 7 now is not allowed to be in any of these cells. So it has to be in one of those 3 cells, and it can't be, because these 9s take care of all 3 of those cells. This one sees that one by knight's move. That's really hard. That is really tricky. But it is, is it fair to use that? I think it is. I mean, that feels like it's a reasonable deduction. It was foreseeable. And it's going to be important, because it's going to give me a 9 here, which is going to give me a 9 here by sudoku. Get rid of that redness there. Get rid of the redness here. Put the 9 back in. That's not 9 anymore. So now, what does that do? So 9, no. Well, 9 in box 5 is a bit restricted now. Can't go on the diagonal, so it's in one of 2 places. So 9 No. It's really... Oh, come on. Stop being recalcitrant, you naughty puzzle. So 9 is in one of these 3 cells. Ah! Pencil marking's not working. 9 is in one of 2 cells, I want to say, in this box. What about this box? Yeah, this is better. Right, where does it go in box 8? And the answer to that is really interesting, because that 9 flushes out that cell, that 9 flushes out that cell, so it's in the bottom row, but it's looking at that cell, so that has to become a 9, which means that's not a 9. Oh, good grief, right. That 9 sees that 9 by disjointedness. They're in the same position in their box, so this has got to be a 9. Okay, so I've not put the 9 in this one yet, so where does the 9 go here? It is in one of 2 places. So I get left with these possible positions for 9s. Now, oh, that's weird. Right, so that's not going to be ruled out by disjointedness, is it? Because these are effectively all in that bottom little triomino within their boxes. Oh, how strange. Okay. That's worrying as well, actually. You know why that's worrying? Because has that actually taken me forward in my solve at all? I mean, I know I've put some digits in. But the only way that's going to have taken me forward is if I wanted to put other digits into these cells where I've finally got some 9s in the grid. And to be honest, I'm far from sure that I wanted to put anything else into any of these cells. Oh, maybe, right, hang on, maybe it's this diagonal again now. So that, does it matter that I can't now put a digit here when I could before? No, it's this cell. I don't want to be able to put a 1 in that cell. That's going to give me loads of progress. I can't see what it is at all. I'm sorry. What have we got? We've got 1, 3, 4 here. We've got a 2, 7 and a 4, 5 here and here. We've got a 6, 7, 8 here. We've got both 9s. That 8 matches an 8 here. Yeah, okay, and these cells are 1, 2, well. Ah. Whoa, 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 whoa. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 8, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. Right. Right. These cells are, these purple cells are the digits 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. And they're all different. Because remember, these are the rump digits, the digits that we haven't yet allocated into yellow that needed to appear in yellow. But those, well, this cell was what got me thinking about it, but I think the same logic applies to this cell. What is that digit then? Because that cell sees the entirety of purple. So it is not a 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6, because if it was any of those, you couldn't put that digit in purple where you'd need to put it. But this digit can't be an 8 or a 9 either. And that means it's a 4 or a 7. And that digit is exactly the same. It works the same way. It sees that one, it sees that one, it sees that one, and that one by Knight's move trickery. That is ridiculous. So this is also a 4 or a 7. And that is a 4-7 pair on the die, which doesn't... I don't think it does what I need it to do. But hang on a minute, let me think about this now. So this is a 4-7 pair, What is that affecting? These are not in the same disjoint position, so it doesn't allow me to eliminate 4s and 7s from, say, that cell or that cell. That would be a lovely deduction. This is a 4-7 pair. How has that affected the world? If indeed it has at all. I'm not sure it has. That is absolutely baffling. Oh. I mean, that is a wonderful, it's just a wonderful deduction. But I don't see how to use it. I'm so sorry if there's meant to be, or there's a clear way of just immediately writing in some stuff off the back of that. It's a beautiful, beautiful idea from the Pedaling Pianist. I'm going to highlight these cells now and just work out what they can be. So they can be 1, 3, 5, 6 and 8. Okay, so what's actually... Right, 8 comes out of those two because of the 8 in the grid here. You can't put 1 in a circle. You can't put 2 in... Sorry, you can't put 3 in this circle because you can't put 2 on the arrow. So that's 5, 6 or 8. It's not 5 because I can't make those two cells add up to 5 given the options are only 1 and 3 below 5. So this is 6 or 8. If it's a 6... If it's 6, that has to be 1, 5. If it's 8, 3, 5, of course. So, okay, so there's never a 6 on this arrow. That's nice. And there's always a 5 on this arrow as well. It's either 1, 5 or 3, 5. So there's a 5 in one of these two cells. No. Oh, I thought I'd done it. I haven't done it. Well, I can get rid of 5 from this cell. That's what we can do with that. I thought it was going to give me the nature of this 9 arrow. But of course it's not. Because this little cell, rather annoyingly, doesn't see both of those possible 5s. Oh. Right, so what is this saying then? Oh, that can't be a 1 by sudoku. Oh, this is it. Look, there's a 3 on the 8 diagonal. I've already thought about this. So that is a 5. Oh, that doesn't tell me what this is. But I don't care. I don't care because this is still great. This is still great because this 5 is seeing that cell. I now can't put 5 on this arrow. So this arrow is a 2-7 arrow. This is just breathtaking. This is a breathtaking puzzle. Now, if that's 2-7, this is not 2-7. So this is 4-5. And that presumably matters for some reason. I can't actually... Is it something to do with the 4? Right, this can't be a 4 now, because that would write 1. So these are different. These are different. Why does that matter? I don't know, but that feels like something I might want to colour at some point. What about that cell? That cell sees the 5 up here. Whichever position the 5 is in, it sees that cell. So this is 2 or 3, which means that is not 3 anymore. So this is 5 or 6. Right, I think it's got to be... Oh, look. Yes, look. If that was 6 now, that would be 5 by disjoint logic. That would be 5. I can't see how to do it. Oh goodness! It keeps giving me these flashes of excitement, and then I just die a death again. Can I limit 5 in this box? It's not there. It can't be hit. No, it can be there. That doesn't see both of those cells. No, I can't. That's total gibberish as well. Right, so what's going on now? I can get rid of 5 from those cells. Can we get rid of anything else? 8 in the top cell. That's impossible. So 8 on this diagonal is now locked into one of 2 places only, which is better than I'd realised. So that, does that actually do anything? It removes 8 from this cell. It nearly does something in this box. 8's now in one of 3 positions, I think. Oh, Bobbins McBobbins face, what's going on? Oh, alright, I'm going to try something different. That cell can't be a 7 because of that 2-7 pair. Aha! So that's a 6. That's not a 6 anymore. These are not 6. So we've got a 7-8 pair here, which... Right, what is it these 2 are seeing? These 2 are seeing that cell. So that can't be 7 or 8, but it seems to still be able to be 9. So that's not even... Oh, I've got a 1-3 pair on this diagonal now. So that's not 1 or 3. So I've got a 6-8 pair on this diagonal. Right, let's check these 2 cells. This must matter. 6 and 8. I don't know how to do it. I don't think I have. Well, okay, here is a tiny... No, it's not even interesting. It's not even interesting. It's not even worth saying. It's so boring. Oh my goodness me, Simon, you are the most dull man at parties. I cannot tell you. What about... I'm wondering about 1s and 3s. That can't be a 6, look, by the power of 6-age. Anyway, yeah, I was looking at 1s and 3s because these are now sort of tied together in an eternal loop, aren't they? Do I still need my yellow highlighting? I'm going to argue I don't. I think probably I don't need any highlighting, actually. So I'm going to get rid of it all. Just because what I want to do is to think about these 1s and 3s. So let's make that purple. That's going to be therefore blue. No, blue's a terrible colour. I'm going to make it yellow. And therefore this one, which is a knight's move away from yellow, is also purple. Now, can we do something with this? I want to somehow link them to this cell, don't I? And then we'll be good to go. So purple is in one of those 2 cells, but they both don't see that one. Purple. Oh, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. No, it just doesn't work. Okay, hang on. No, better question. Yellow. There must be a yellow on this diagonal, mustn't there? And it's not there. Yes, that's yellow. Here we go. Here we go. So that gets me a 4. Because now I've got a 1-3 pair there. This is it. This is it. So this is 4. This is 4. This is 5. This is 4 by knight's move trickery. It can't go there. Come on. Come on. 5 in the middle of a box. Is that restricted anywhere? Yes. That can't be a 5 anymore. Oh, hang on. What about... Oh, no. These haven't got the ability to be 4. Or what about 4s in those positions? Ah! No. Or what about... No. No. Okay, let's try 5 in this box. Boom, boom, boom are taken out. So it's in one of those 2 positions. So 5 is in one of these 2 positions. Let's check the disjoint again. I don't think it's going to work. 5 here as well. Oh, no. My goodness me. Okay. Do I know? No, I don't, do I? I was just wondering whether I knew yellow appeared here, but I don't know that. If yellow is a 1, then that is a 1. But if yellow is a 3, it's still possible this is yellow if it's a 3, but it needn't be on the diagonal because it could be a 1, 2, 6. Oh, good grief. Right. What about that digit then? Now you may say, correctly, well, that only sees yellow. No, it doesn't. It sees purple. That digit sees purple because it's in the first position of its box. That's outrageous. So that cannot be, because it therefore cannot be purple and it cannot be yellow, it's a 2. Oh, this is it. This is it. Because if that's a 2, I now know what the 9 arrow is. Well, more important than that, though, is probably that I know what this, because now I know that this is a 1-6 pair to make me add up to 9. Now we probably can resolve that, he says desperately. I don't know how to do it, but I can't see how to do it. So anyway, let's come to the other conclusion about this, which is that we know that these 5 digits were all different. So that's now got to be the 3. Wow, 3, and that's got to be a 5. Now, well, that's great. Okay, if that's a 3, that's a 1. So yellow is 1, purple is 3. And 1 goes here and 6 goes here, therefore. Wow, come on. Keep going. 1 is in one of those cells. 1 is in one of these cells. 1 plus 5 is equal to 6, so we can do maths. So that gives us the 6 and the 8. I've almost done all these pesky diagonals, haven't I? Yes, 4. That 4 sees that cell by the disjoint, so that's a 7. This is a 4. So there's a 4 in one of those 2 cells. Can those 2 be done? Yes, of course they can. There's a 2 here. So that 2 sees that. Oh, this is ridiculous. I don't mind disjoint if I can actually spot them. Oh, goodness. So this is now a 2. This is a 2. There's a 2 up here. Probably disjoint saves me there. I can't. Maybe it doesn't actually. 8 there gives me that digit. So that's 8. That's 7. 7 lives up in one of those 2 cells. Wow. Wow, okay. Now, where do we look? I've done all of the diagony. All of the diagony is done. We've just got the agony of the disjoint sets to figure out now. Okay. So, are there likely to be any easy wins here? Or is this just going to be maybe this column? I can see I need 1s, 3s and 6s. Oh, that's a naked single. That's just a 1. That's surprising. Well, that means that's a 1 and that's a 1. Okay, good. So I've got lots of 1s in the grid all of a sudden. I can get all the 1s, assume I haven't made an error, because I need to put a 1 here. All those 1s don't seem to be knight's moves away from each other. And are they all in different positions in their boxes? The answer is probably. I think so. 2s. 2 is placed in box 7. So I've found a 2-7 pair now in this box up here. And can we eliminate either of those cells by the disjoint? I don't know. I suspect not actually, because I seem to have a 2 pencil mark there, which is going to disappoint in that regard. Now there's a 5 here by the power of sudoku, not disjoint. Now that's now not a 9, so this has become a 9, that's become a 5, That's become a 9 at the bottom. 5s may be worth looking at. Yeah, where does the 5? I can just put a 5 into the grid here. How many 5s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 here apparently. Ah, this is done. That's a 5, that's a 5. All the 5s are now done. Hooray! And those two squares were a 3, 6 pair, weren't they? Let's put those in and just study the disjoint again for a moment. Can we? I don't seem to have many 3s, or how many 6s are there? Not enough. Oh, but look, knight's move. That's got to be a 6 in this box. So 3, 7 and 8 into these cells. I'm going to put that in and stare again. That's not 8. Can either of these be 8? Have we got an 8 in the top righty areas of their boxes? Ah, no. Have we got any 3s in the grid that are in any way useful? Let's double click the 3s. Oh, that 3 sees that by knight's move. So that's another thing I've got to watch out for. In fact, that's a 3 I can now see by sudoku. So that's a 3. This is a 7, 8 pair. That puts 6 in the corner, which may be important. So 2, 7 and 8 go into these cells. I'm going to pencil mark those. That can't be 8. Is there anything else? There could be disjoint. There could be knight's moves. I don't know. Maybe. There could be. I'm not sure. What about down here? 4 and 8. Oh, 8. 8 is placeable in this column. So that becomes a 4. 4 is in one of those two cells. I am trying to scan. I know I'm probably doing an abysmal job of trying to scan the disjoints, and I am trying to do it. Just not doing a very good job of it. Now this column, look, it needs a 4, so that's a 4, so that's a 4. That 4 sees that cell by knight's move, so hopefully that can be a 4. Or I have made a ricket. 4s go in. This is a 7 or an 8 by the row. That's a... oh, hang on. That's a 7 here. So that's 7. That's 8. That's 8. That should be a something. 3, I think. That should be a 7. That looks okay, actually, doesn't it? So now there's a 7 up here. Oh, no. Come on, you rotten thing. Give up now. You've put up the most mighty fight, but you deserve to be defeated. 2, 6, 7. It's surprising to me how little I feel I've used the disjoint. That's probably just my ineptitude. But, okay, where does 7 go in this row? It's got to go here. So that should be a 6. That 6 sees that cell. So that's 6, that's 2, that's 2. That gives us a 7, 8 pair. That 7 is useful. That's 7, 2, 7. All of a sudden things are going into the grid with a little bit more alacrity. I need 6s and 8s, so that should be 6, that should be 8. This column needs an 8, so that goes in. This box needs a 2 and a 3. So that should be 2, that should be 3, that should be 3, that should be 6. Please. Yes. Oh dear. I mean, that was an intense hour. That was an intense hour. What a puzzle that is. I mean, we have had some stunning debuts recently, and that is right up there. It's another book-worthy puzzle. It's ridiculous that solves. And solves so... It's beautiful, actually, the way that's solved. Because... let me just think about that. What do we have to do? So, I don't think it's that difficult to see that the diagonals, I mean the title as much as anything, and the fact that you can't do anything in the puzzle without thinking about the diagonals, and the only diagonals you seem to be given are these. It's quite hard, I suppose, to make yourself highlight all of them, because this one down here doesn't immediately jump out at you as being relevant. But once you have the idea of thinking about the diagonals, especially in the context of the disjoint sets, it's then very natural, I would argue, to deduct out that one. That felt very normal to me to do that. And that gets you sort of this position. That gets us to where we were originally highlighting yellow cells, doesn't it? But what was amazing after that is that you could, well, it's beautiful, actually, the way this circle's position has such a profound effect on this box, and you can force the mathematics to work. That has been put together so carefully. But then it's amazing that you can actually allocate the digits to the diagonals fairly well. Yeah, the bit I loved this bit. I loved the fact that all those digits had to be different. Let me use a better colour. No. Oh, I don't know what colour to use. I'm going to go to one of the advanced colours. Hang on. Is it going to let me do that? I don't know. Oh, is that because that's not the same yellow? Oh, goodness. I'm trying to do it with a different clever colour. There we go. So these cells all having to be different and locking things into there. But even that wasn't enough. That was really lovely. But it was still necessary to have the ideas around what could go onto this diagonal, this digit. Seeing the weirdest 1-3 pair you've ever seen in your life was lovely. It's so clever, this. It really is. That is a brilliant puzzle. Di-agony indeed, but in the end, di-ecstasy. Let me know how you got on. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. I will be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.